Today we have a really special story for you, and it's something that we can all learn from. I'm joined by the fantastic Yogesh Patel. Now, Yogesh is a full-time doctor, has a young family, and grown quite an impressive property portfolio. So, Yogesh, would you like to tell me and tell the audience who Yogesh is?
Oh, well, thank you very much for inviting me to this. Um, so my name's Yogesh Patel. I'm working as a full-time NHS GP in Croydon, South London. And I've built up quite an extensive property portfolio and done quite a lot in property while working full-time. And I've got a young family, two boys aged 10 and 11, and all the family stuff they have to do. So people often ask me at meetings, and how have you done all this? Because a lot of people who do property full time say they struggle doing things, and they said, well, you kind of done what I want to do, but you still got a job. So that's what people ask. I get my property things that I've done. I probably started about 10 years ago properly, but actually I bought my very first property in 2002, I think.
Wow. So you've been going some time. That's 18 years.
Yeah, thinking about it. And the story behind that, and this is probably where I got this property, because no one in my family or anyone I knew was doing property. In a way, I wish I had known, because I think I would have got into it a lot sooner. But this property, I was a medical student, so I had zero income. I was in my last year. I got a letter from the university to say, as long as Yogesh passes his final exams, he'll be a junior doctor, earning about £21,000 a year, I think it was then. And got that letter signed by the medical school admin, took that to Halifax Bank, and believe it or not, they gave me a mortgage offer based on that with zero income.
I was going to say that was back in the heady days when they'd give 100% mortgages. They would even do 125% mortgages.
Yeah.
I remember the good days of mortgage finance just being so easy. So, how did that property story develop, Yogesh? I mean, what's your story? Are you investing in just single lets, houses? What do you invest in?
So just going back to that one, I mean, what happened is you did all the things you're not supposed to do. I bought it off plan, put a reservation deposit down. They built it. You exchange contracts, and you got to build out 6 months later. And at that time, the market was booming, 2002. So somehow it gone up in £20,000 in value, and I'd done nothing. I hadn't even put any carpets in the building, and I was just so shocked about how much it was worth. And I didn't need to live in that area because my job was in a different area in the end. So I just sold it for £20,000. I'm thinking, well, I haven't done any work for this, and I've made 20,000 in my bank account.
So that was about the salary they were promising you.
Yeah, that was my 1 year salary. So I thought people are making money on this property thing, and it's a bit too easy. But I didn't do much after that. Basically, I was busy being a doctor, or training to be a doctor, learning how to be a doctor. But after about, I don't know, 2011, after the recession, the last recession, I just had a bit of money, and I did buy to lets. You put money down, you let it out. At that time, I was happy. My philosophy then was there's going to be capital growth. Might as well buy something, get it rented out, and let's just have the capital gain. And 20 years time, I can retire with that. That's my plan. So do a few of those. Sold some, we made some profit. And then I thought, hang on, I'm going to networking now. People are doing HMOs. This is much better than buy-to-lets. You get much more income. So then I'd converted some houses HMOs, and you get much more income. And then people were doing developments and planning flips. And you heard about other strategies like service accommodation, rent to rent, lease options. All this world opened up when I started networking, and I'm thinking, this is wonderful. And there's a lot more to it than buy to let. So I kind of got into all of those areas.
So
Yeah,
hang on, can I just wind back here?
yeah,
You've said you're a full-time GP.
yeah,
You've said you have a young family.
yeah.
Now, I know a lot of GPs, and it's an incredibly busy and demanding job. And I've also got a young family, or had a young family, and that sucks so much time. And what you're talking about is actually a full-time property job as well, developing HMOs. How do you balance off the demands of being a GP, a family, and a property business, which, from what you're describing to me and all the networking that goes with it, is quite substantial? How do you balance this?
It's a really good question. Firstly, I have a great wife. So I think you've got to have a very understanding wife, and she's marvelous. So she does give me a lot of leeway. But she does pull me in when I'm not spending enough time with the family as well. So that's very important. Um, Two things. One is just spending your time doing things that matter and not wasting your time with things that don't matter or make a difference. Using technology, so not making phone calls, but emailing or communicating electronically. Finding great people who you can outsource things to is very important, and them being trustworthy and doing what they say they'll do and doing it properly. Now that's trial and error. That's trying out people, finding out they're no good, sacking them, and finding someone else. But once you've got the right people, all you need to do is make decisions, and everyone else implements the time-consuming bits.
Yeah.
And I've got that really from networking, I think. But those have been the main things: outsourcing and doing things that really matter.
Okay. So it sounds like you have sort of nailed the uh, process of identifying your cost and your value and bringing people in to support you in areas that your time would not be well spent on. For argument's sake, I'm guessing managing a HMO. As a GP, you can earn a lot more than you would managing a HMO, and you probably also don't want to get involved in the arguments about cheese in the fridge. So give me some examples of deals you've done, because you've told me development, HMOs, serviced accommodation, single let. I mean, you're going through strategies like you're collecting badges in the Cubs.
Um, when I learn stuff, I just think, well, why not implement them? I know you're meant to focus on one strategy and get good at it and get perfect at it and do well. But for me, if I come across a deal and I can fit it into a strategy and it makes money, then why not do it? Why do you need to be super? If it makes a bit of money, just do it. So
I
that's
like that. That's my approach to
yeah,
things. I mean, a lot of people say, become a specialist in this.
yeah.
The only thing is, if you hit a speed bump as a specialist, you're a one-trick pony and you can't fix it. Being a GP in practice, you obviously have to apply lots of different knowledge in order to be able to do things. So I love that approach, and that follows my approach to property, to business, and to everything. So carry on, Yogesh.
Yeah, no, I think that's the better way. And I don't know, I'll tell you about my favorite. I mean, uh, I like HMOs because they give you a lot of income. I don't manage any of my HMOs. I actually let out my HMOs to companies who then do something called supporting housing with that. So I'm only really involved with maintenance and nothing else. And even with that, there's a maintenance contractor locally. He gets involved when there's issues, and I just pay his invoice really, and I trust them. Um, but that's what I like HMOs, and what's the other thing I like right now? I like planning uplift deals. I must admit, anything you can buy, be it an office, be it a shop, be it a bit of garden, a house, you can convert to flats. I really like looking for those opportunities and just trying to get the planning. And I've done a few of those recently, which have been very, very profitable. And I've sold them with planning, not had to build anything out, not had to do any work, and quick chunks of big income.
That's quite smart. That really is quite smart. You're not having to work terribly hard because it's an intellectual exercise of playing with a few pieces of paper to uplift the value. And I like that and I respect that, Yogesh. But on the other side of it, it's very hard to find sites. Do you have some smart things that you can share to help people manage a full-time job, manage their property business, manage a family, find sites, add value? What smart tips have you got for people?
I'll just tell you what's worked for me. I don't know what the magic answer is, but what's worked for me is the first planning. I've done a couple of planning flips last few years. One of them was a bungalow, corner plot, on Rightmove for all to see. And actually, I bought that to be a family home. That was the reason I bought it. But I rented it because we weren't ready to move in. And then someone came across the idea of that's quite a big plot. You could get another house on that or get some flats on it. So I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And we applied for planning and we got 4 flats, that bungalow knocked down in 4 flats, and we didn't do any work on that. So Rightmove, they were there. And the other one was also on Rightmove, although they had an offer accepted. So that was a bit trickier because I came across that a bit too late, but it was on Rightmove. And what I did is I wrote letters to the owner because he wouldn't take my offer because he already accepted another offer. I kept on writing to him every couple of weeks, increasing my offer so every so slightly every each letter. And then after about a month, there was a problem with his original offer. They couldn't get their finance. So he called me, invited me to his house. We done a deal. And
Brilliant.
that's the right move. So I
So it
right
shows persistency pays off then, Yogesh. Following up on a transaction and not giving up, because until it's exchanged contracts, the deal isn't done. It's just an offer from somebody. So well done. Well done for persistence there.
yeah. And nowadays I'm using things like Nimbus Maps, property data to search, paying virtual assistants to do some of the data scraping and sending out letters, and also telling everyone what I'm looking for in network meetings, making it very clear what I want. I want stuff without planning, but with opportunities, and waiting for my next opportunity.
Well, I talking opportunities, I hear from what
Yeah,
you from the grapevine
yeah.
that you've applied to be on a TV show. Is that correct? What TV show is this?
Oh yeah, this it's a TV show I really like watching. So I presume you've heard of Dragon's Den on BBC. So
Yes.
there's a property program called Property Elevator, which is on Sky TV, and it's called Elevator because I think you get the time you take to go in an elevator and pitch a deal to someone is why it's called Elevator, Property Elevator. You
Okay.
have you have 5 in my show you have 5 investors, and they've all got money to invest, and you pitch your deal, your opportunity, and if they like it, they fund your deal.
Oh, perfect. So
Yeah.
you'll be going on that show with a deal, will you?
So I've already been, and
Okay.
I had a great time, and uh, at the moment I can't tell you too many details, but maybe I can come back and share the experience.
Yeah.
But I had a wonderful time doing it, and I must admit I've never actually borrowed money from anyone other than the bank until that time, and it's one of my things I needed to learn. One of my things I was lacking, because you can't get bigger if you just use your own money. There's a limit. So so what I did, I said, right, I'm putting myself into TV show and doing it big time, and gave myself a lot of accountability, and I learned a lot.
Well, it sounds like there's a big story there.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have to schedule another interview in the future. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing this TV show and seeing the results. Hopefully, fingers crossed it went well, and the viewers can all enjoy seeing your success or not and learning from that process. So shall we diary to do an in-depth dive in terms of how to prepare for and what to expect and how to win.
Yeah. I've got a lot of tips actually. It's all about preparations, what I've learnt.
Yeah.
And the
Well, we'll do that in the next video, shall we?
Yeah, we'll do. I've got a lot of good tips to share actually on that, and it will apply to just ordinary investors, let alone big TV stars. But it'll be aired on Sky TV. I think the channel's 192 called Property Elevator. Yeah.
No, well, that'll be superb. We'll drop a link to the Property Elevator show down below. And if you want to follow that story of Yogesh's, Yogesh, you've heard him here. He's going to come back. He's going to share the details and the top tips that he's got and what he learned. Hopefully, he secured some dragons or angels, sorry, some angels to invest with him. And you can find out more. So stay tuned and hit that share button if you think somebody else would love to know more about Yogesh's story. Hit the subscribe button if you want to be reminded when that video comes out. And Yogesh would love it if you give him a big thumbs up and tell him that you like his interview as well. So, Yogesh, it's been fantastic having you here today. Is there any closing thoughts or comments you'd like to share with anybody?
Yeah, so I like people. I really like it. And whether you're new or experienced, if you like a chat, I can always get some time to have a phone call with anyone really about anything. That I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. Maybe you can put my contact details below too. But yeah, please get in touch. Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, email. I'm happy to have a quick chat with anyone.
Superb. Well, there you go. Yogesh is a really nice guy. What you see is what you get. I can't remember how long we've known each other, Yogesh, but we've known each other a little while. I think we bumped into each other at a network meeting, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
He's a thoroughly great guy. So get in touch with him if you've got any potential opportunities for him to invest in or want to pick his brains. I'm sure he'll do that within reason, of course, and look forward to seeing you in the next interview. So thank you from me, Andrew Roberts, and thank you to Yogesh for joining us today and sharing your amazing story. I hope you all get a lot from that.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Andrew. I'm so glad I met you at network meeting. That just proves the power of network meetings. And thank you for letting me do this. And thank you actually for all your help, for all your advice you've given me recently. You've been superb. So thank you.
You're most welcome. It's a pleasure. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.